And welcome back to Triple V, the podcast where we do things a little bit differently by talking to vets who do unique things for either passion, purpose, or therapy. Today, we're talking to Sandra, Sharklife, Vidrequin. She's out there taking photos in conflict zones. Sandra, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Yeah, so why don't you tell me a little bit of how you got into conflict photography in the first place? Like, what inspired you to go there?
Well, it basically started with a tough background, like upbringing and childhood. And then after that, it was traveling a lot with my camera. And then I was more interested in people in the street, like street photography, seeing the bad things instead of taking pictures of, the touristy stuff that most people do.
Yeah.
I aim my camera at everything else but tourist stuff. And that's basically how it evolved. And I saw pain. I saw the pain in people's faces, and that's how I express myself, is through the camera, through my own pain, capturing other people's pain.
And what specifically about your upbringing made you want to capture that pain in order to tell the story of others who potentially can't?
So I was born into the projects in Norway. My mom took drugs during the pregnancy with me, and I was basically born into the worst of the worst, like drug dealing, prostitution, crime, everything you can imagine. An unborn child, an infant, a child, a teen, everything you can imagine has been done to me, and I've seen and experienced. And that made me kind of go into my own little bubble and zone. And I started using my camera to express myself. And the frustration, I got it out in martial arts, hitting a bag instead of people.
Yeah, because you're a black belt, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was a way of outlet to get out the pain. But the camera was, I used it like a shield almost. Like when I go into a war zone, I feel invisible because I see things through a lens, and it's like not being there. And also, I think it's a way for me to put my own suffering at another level, seeing other people suffering more than me, thinking my own is not that bad. So.
And that's an interesting way to put it. So you've been through a few conflicts. You were in the Revolution of Egypt in 2011,
yes,
as well as you just got back from Ukraine.
Yes.
Tell me about some of the things that you witnessed while you were over there.
So last year I went to Ukraine on a day and a half notice. Mm-hmm. So I took the plane from Stavanger, Norway, to Oslo, and I joined a team of two other people who were in a human aid organization. So I joined them, and these people had been going, they go like 6 times a year or something, like they know their way in Ukraine. So I just hopped on and joined them, and I had accreditation from the Ukrainian Armed Forces already, because I was planning to go. I had a plan to go. So I had that with me. Then we drove through Sweden, took a boat from Sweden to Poland, drove through whole Poland, and then into west of Ukraine. Mm-hmm. In the west, there are some stuff happening, but it's not, you don't notice the war as much as when you go further to the east. So when we came to Kyiv, the capital, we started feeling like now we are in a country of war. And I could see like the street signs were painted over for the full-scale invasion to, confuse the Russians. Mm-hmm. They jammed the GPS signals, painted over the street signs so they didn't know where they were going, to confuse them. And then there were all the checkpoints that were pretty scary. And I actually tore off my press pass patches and put the camera in my backpack just before those checkpoints, because I was risking taking pictures of military personnel, checkpoints, military vehicles, and I risked 2 to 3 years in prison there if I was caught. So the whole drive, all the way from the west to the east, I feeded my memory cards in the back seat to someone who were putting them into an external hard disk, and I told him, just make a file, a folder called Mom, because it's the least suspicious one. Just create one that's called Mom. And I fed him memory cards throughout the whole journey. He gave them back to me. I formatted them, took picture of stuff that I shouldn't be taking pictures of, because that's just part of it. And because the people who were traveling with me, they had memory cards confiscated, cameras confiscated on earlier trips. And I did not want that to happen.
No.
So I did everything I could to keep everything. Then finally we came to east of Ukraine, where things are pretty heavy. We went to Kharkiv, which is very close to the front lines, and checked into a hotel there. And it was a little shady hotel, 3-story. And the first thing we had to do when we went in the hotel is find the bomb shelter. And it was just 1 story down in a washing room. That's it. It wasn't a real bomb shelter. They just called it the bomb shelter. And I thought in my mind, if something happens here, I'm not going to run into that. I just better stay in my room. Because if it hits, you know. So I went to sleep that night, and I slept with fully clothes, my camera on the bed beside me, my go bag ready. And I fell asleep because I had turned off the notifications on my phone, because there was air alerts from 2 to 16 times a night. And I could not be running down to the bomb shelter every time. I had to sleep too.
Yeah, especially when the bomb shelter is makeshift like that, and it's not really going to do anything anyways. So
exactly.
What's the point?
But that night in Kharkiv, the missile fell down. Yeah, 3 o'clock in that morning, I was sleeping. Like I said, camera beside me, bag was packed. I had turned off the phone not to be disturbed by all the air alerts that was going on. And all of a sudden, there hits a missile not far from me. And the whole bed is shaking. And I woke up and I'm like, was that it? Or is there more coming? Or should I run down there or in the bomb shelter or not? And boom, another one. And then I go down, and the people I was traveling with, they were already there sitting before it hit, because they were paying attention to the alerts on the phone. And they were wondering, we were wondering where you were at, why you hadn't come down. And I'm like, if it hits, it hits. There's no, I don't think this place is going to make things any safer.
Yeah.
So, and also with time, the only time I went down to bomb shelter was in Kiev the first night. Because then everything was kind of new, because the air alerts were ringing outside in the hotel, a speaker in the hotel telling you, please go down to the bomb shelter, don't use the elevator, going down 9 stories in a real bomb shelter. And I did that the first night 2 times. The second time I fell asleep down there. I woke up, everybody had gone up, and I just fell asleep there. And that was the only time I didn't go down there anymore, because if you were to run down, you get so affected by the stress and all of that. Yeah. So I just decided to, if anything happens, it happens.
It really feels like a catch-22 to where you're either A, getting enough sleep and relaxing however you can, or B, you're spending the entire night glued to your phone, running up and down the stairs, and you're not going to be alert for the danger that comes when the daytime comes.
It's like screaming wolf.
Yes.
But I think, I feel that the Russians also were using that as terrorism to terrorize the population. Imagine, I did that for 2 weeks, but imagine the people who are there for like almost 4 years now, living through that every day. Like they go to the store and like, and they don't react anymore because they can't live then. You know, your skin just gets thick, and it's like, if it hits, it hits. You know, it's Russian roulette kind of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's being on alert all the time. It is, and it's tough. And when I came back to Norway, they had a 3-year marking of that invasion in my town. Like loads of Ukrainians were there to protest and also like say, this is 3 years now. And I went there with my camera, my guard down. I was not in alert. And they just start this marking. Is it called marking? Like this event with putting the microphone and the air alert on full. And I did not expect that. And that really impacted me. Because when I was there, I didn't have that feeling. When I was in war, I didn't have the feeling because my guard was up. I knew things could happen. But when I was back in Norway, my guard was down and that sound came on and PTSD came on. Yeah. So I was like really affected. I held back my tears. I looked around me and I had this flashbacks of Ukraine. So yeah, it's strange when you're there, you're prepared, you don't react. At least I didn't. But when I'm back and relaxed and these sounds come on, you go in full alert mode.
Well, it always hits different when it's closer to home like that.
Yeah, because it was just outside my house actually that event was going on, and hundreds of people were there. There were going to be people talking about, you know, my brother passed, or they had posters, I lost my brother or my father, so I was prepared for it being emotional, but I wasn't prepared for that air alert alarm to come on like full in my own town. That was very tough.
That sounds tough. Yeah. And with that, we're going to take a brief break and welcome back. So Sandra, you're also an ambassador for 511 Tactical. How did that happen?
Well, because of my military background, and they wanted, I think they wanted an ambassador that was female and cool looking, and that could carry their stuff, you know, in a cool way. And also, since I'm a photographer, they loved that. So there was a go bag campaign that they had, and I was one of the people who were elected to represent them. Yeah.
How did it feel to be recognized by a national brand that has that level of recognition and also being able to help you out?
It's amazing. I've gone to the 511 Tactical in Henderson, the shop, and they recognized me. And yeah, it's amazing. I feel proud. We don't have 511 Tactical in Norway. Yeah.
What's your favorite piece that you have from them?
Their ruck bag.
The ruck bag?
The go bag, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you speak 7 languages? Is that right?
A little more. Like I speak 4 fluently, but a bunch of other where I can make myself understood and understand what they're saying, yeah. I'm very mixed. So my mother is Norwegian, my father is French, so there we have 2 languages. English, international language, we learn at school. Spanish. So I have 4 sons, and they are half Latinos. So the Spanish came in, and I'm a sponge when it comes to languages. So from a young age, I spoke Spanish. I've learned Arabic, being in the Middle East, you know, Portuguese. I just catch up. I'm a sponge when it comes to languages. It's just easy for me. I think some people just have that ability.
And I feel like that unlocks a lot of opportunities and spaces for when you're out shooting
Yes.
that a lot of people wouldn't have.
Yeah, you can connect with them and understand. And even if it's basic, you understand. And they're very appreciative of you knowing some basic stuff, to being able to understand them and them understanding you. It's amazing.
Are they ever surprised?
Yes. I've even walked in the street in Norway, and there were two, I think they were Palestinian. They were walking in front of me, and I walked in the back, and they were talking. And I responded to them, and they turned around, and they were so surprised. And like, you even talk slang? And I'm like, yep. It's good, because I catch up on things. Yeah. I've also been covering a lot of protests in Norway with my camera, and a lot of this Israel-Palestine situation, and connected a lot with the people there. They almost see me as family now. I lost my mother last year on my birthday, and all of a sudden, all of these Palestinians comes to the funeral that were like there for me. They didn't even know my mother. So that was just amazing. Yeah.
And it's having that family that attaches with you no matter where you go. It really just goes to show you're speaking through your work and what you're doing.
Yes, they're really appreciative of my pictures and my message through the pictures. And it's really my way of expressing myself.
Yeah, because there's not a lot of people that can do what you do. Like, there's a million photographers, probably more than that, but not that many that would go and run towards danger versus packing up their camera and running away.
Yeah. Like, just an example, a stupid example, but when I was in Egypt, in the desert there, we went sandboarding, and I had my camera, of course, and when the night was coming, the dark was coming, all the scorpions were coming up, and we were running there barefoot, and everybody was running away from those scorpions, and I was there with my camera running barefoot to catch them. And they were like, "You're crazy," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know." Like, anything, I like to have, it's like a protection. I have a bulletproof vest when I'm out there, and I have the camera and a helmet, and I feel like I'm invisible. And I think that I don't have a fear to die also. I don't have that fear. And I think that comes back to my childhood and background, because I've been through so much. Like, my mom, being a drug addict, would lock me as a baby in the home and go out for 2 days to drink. And I would lay there in my diapers, in my feces, no food. Like, when I was 2.5 years old, I would break out of the house when she wasn't there, and they would find me in diapers in the snow in Norway in the winter, just walking, looking for my mom. So I've been through so much that I don't think that I'm scared of death or losing my life. And that makes me go further when it comes to photography.
Yeah. Especially
feeling that this camera is my shield and my weapon. And, you know, when you have a zoom on, you feel like you're closer. You know, I can't explain that. It's just something that's in me when you don't have a fear of losing your life. Even those missiles, like one boom, I'm like still there in bed, like, oh, is there more coming? Or is like, and the other ones were in that bomb shelter, like stressed out. And there's something about me not being scared of dying, because you can't do this job being scared of death. You can't do it properly, at least, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show that is not only an extension of you, but that's your fifth child right there.
Yeah. I always say it's my third arm, and it's my weapon, because I can use that as a weapon to show atrocities or show what's going on in the world. And for me, that means a lot. And if it means me dying doing it, I'll do it.
Now, outside of conflict photography, you also assist with other forms of, like, things that are happening in the world with Team Rubicon. Why don't you tell me a little bit about Team Rubicon and what they do?
So I joined Team Rubicon, I think it was in 2021. And I did a lot of courses with them. And they do disaster response. And they deploy out in different parts of the world to help. If there's been a hurricane somewhere or some other disaster, and they go in, and it's mainly veterans and some badass civilians that actually join and help, and that spoke to me a lot. So I wanted to do that, and now that I've been back in Vegas, I've done some local stuff together with them, but I'm prepping for going on deployment as soon as possible.
Is there any time with Team Rubicon that really speaks out to you in a memory of like, this is why I do this, and this is what needs to be done?
For me, there's a brotherhood, unspoken brotherhood between soldiers and ex-soldiers, and the helping the community. That's giving to me. It's very special. It's like I meet somebody, it's like they're your brother already, because we know we've been through things, and it's not even, we don't even need to talk about it. We just know it as brothers and sisters, and doing something together for humanity, giving back, is just so rewarding for me.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that don't realize how important disaster response is.
Yeah.
Even here in Vegas, people don't realize that when we get a heavy rain, a disaster response team is needed, just because there are hundreds of people living in the tunnels.
Yeah.
And anytime we get a heavy rain, that floods like crazy, and it's life or death down there.
Yeah, yeah. And the job that Team Rubicon does is just amazing. I had the honor this time around to walk at the parade with them, and it was just amazing. It was just amazing. And getting to know more of the people working there. I look forward to doing more work with them. I'm very excited about that.
Love it. With that, we're going to take a brief break, and we'll be right back.
Oh, we're ready? All right, and we're back. I guess I am not Brenton with a tan. I am Ronnie Long here with Triple V. All right. I like that he made that logo. You see how impressive this guy is?
Yeah,
he's able to make things really quick. It's weird that he's an HR guy.
Yeah, right.
It's HR and real estate, and he's just talented at these things.
Amazing.
His judgment, though, keeps giving me a microphone to talk to people. He's like, yeah, go ahead, right? Should have seen us in D.C. That was funny.
Yeah, I bet.
We almost got in trouble with the Secret Service.
Wow.
That was my fault.
You want to elaborate?
Huh?
You want to elaborate?
Well, apparently you're not supposed to go past the fence.
Yeah. And there's a sign there probably, too.
I didn't read it. And also our other cameraman, he had like that little 360 camera, right? And we get out of the car, and he was like, oh, is that the Washington Monument? And it extends, you know how the 360, yeah? He whips it out like it's like a baton.
Yeah.
Just, right? And right in front of Secret Service, and just like...
It's like when there's a sign, no photography, I pose with my camera beside it just for fun.
Oh my gosh, yeah. We got this pass, this media pass. Like it feels like the key to the city, right?
Yes.
I actually have a breaching tool, which is a real key to the city.
Really?
But yeah, I got 2 of them in my garage right now. I had 3. There's a story with that. But you and Brenton were talking about. I actually don't remember. I've seen Team Rubicon. I didn't know what they were doing for disaster relief. And what he's saying is right, because I'm in the tunnels every Saturday.
Okay.
Like this past one especially, because I was expecting no one to show up because it's the holiday season.
Yeah.
Actually, it was a really nice turnout. There was many people. On Wednesdays, we set up the care packages. On Saturdays, we bring them out with Sharklife, and we just kind of jump in and try to help. But like, there's been occasions when, you know, the rains come up and the tunnels that are here, we live on bedrock here, right?
Yeah.
So there's almost no absorption in the soil whatsoever. And the tunnels are designed for us not to flood, because a few years ago, I moved here in 2013.
Okay.
It flooded pretty badly then. And that was like, you know, they had tunnels, you know, just not as intricate maybe. I don't know. But they've been working on it and trying to help. But like, it used to flood just entire sections of the city. Would just be like, oh, that's done, right?
If you need somebody who isn't scared to have their hands dirty, just call me.
Always,
I'll
yeah.
join.
They're always looking for people who come in, and I know for me, it's like I'm the only person there that's never been in like a drug recovery or been living, like we had some things going on when we were growing up. I have a very similar story when it comes to your background. And I think that does turn off the I'm afraid to die thing.
Yeah.
I feel like I always meet people that are like, oh, I don't want to do this because like, oh, well, what if something happens? You can die right now.
Yeah,
I could walk
cross the
outside of the
street,
street.
that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. It's like if I'm driving a sports car, I'm going to push it to see how far it goes.
course.
Doesn't matter where I'm at. No, don't listen to that one. But I've pushed these cars, right? We were going up to Portland, Oregon to do part of a project that we were working on, and we hit the loneliest road of America. Have you ever heard of it?
No, but I can tell that it's a great place to put the pedal down.
Yeah, there's no cops around. You just floored it. It was wonderful, right? In a Dodge Challenger. It was great, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Just
One of my favorite
smash it.
cars.
That's one of your favorite? What year?
That doesn't matter actually. It doesn't matter.
Just
yeah. But I'm a Jeep girl, but that Challenger, that's close up.
a Jeep. You like the Jeep because it goes everywhere, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
I have one.
You had one?
I have one.
I broke my car before, and well, it wasn't on purpose. It was like a burned out radiator, like there was a hole in the radiator, so it's like replaced that. And someone's like, "You can just borrow my Jeep." It was a 1995 Jeep Wrangler stick shift. Oh, that was the best car in the world. He's like, "You don't even have to lock it because no one knows how to drive it." I was like,
exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Stick shift is the best.
Ah,
I know everything about that, and I went here in Vegas on a dirt, what's it called, dry lake bed.
over there in Boulder.
In yes,
Yeah.
just before
Right
on your
before
way.
Searchlight.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I had never ridden a dirt bike before.
I still haven't.
I was
You're wrong.
given one,
Mhm.
just like sat on it and just went.
Oh, that's-
From first to sixth gear, no helmet, no nothing, just zzz. And because of the heat wave on the ground, you can't see the holes and stuff because you see the warm,
yeah.
and I paid the mountain, as they say.
Oh, I like that phrase.
So I went up in the air, fell down, was out for a long time. They got me up and running, but I had a broken. The collarbone was like this.
Yeah.
And I had insurance, of course, from Norway, so they flew me first class back and operated on me, put some titanium in there.
Oh, that's why you have the titanium.
That's why I have the titanium, yeah.
You're
That was an American experience with the American health system.
It's different. When I had facial reconstruction, because I had this all smashed in with a flashlight and some teeth, I had my surgery done in Thailand. Right, that was way better. I can't imagine they would have done as well here in America. It's like, oh well,
Totally.
it's like they're like trying to do it with the cheapest stuff there. Oh, in the East, it's like they'll get you better, then you can figure it out later, right?
Yeah.
Over here, it's like, what can you do? It's like, oh, I got a guy.
Yeah.
So it's like I got a guy kind of system, and yeah, I don't think I would have turned out as well if I would have done it here, just because it's just not the best, right? I still don't like going to the doctor at this point in time.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the American health, the quality of the health system here, but I did 2 X-rays and a brain scan, and what's it called? An arm sling and a pain pill. That was $35,000.
$35,000?
Yeah, and it took me a year to get rid of everything through the insurance. Not because it was slow in Norway, but because it was slow here. Because the nurse had a bill for giving me that pain pill. The guy that received me and did the X-rays had another bill. The hospital had one bill. Like, it was just, for me, it was just crazy because I'm used to, like, it being handled like that over there. So it's so easy there. And I'm used to everything being, I didn't pay a dime for that operation in Norway.
I didn't pay I probably didn't pay a dime for Thailand. I don't know. It was a really interesting situation. But I hear what you're saying. I heard a comedian once say, "Is like, what are they going to do if you just pay them $5 a month? Like, you're technically making your payment. They're going to take back your surgery stuff. Like,
they can't. Yeah,
they can't, right?
Especially if you don't live there.
Yeah, as long as you're trying to make effort.
Yeah.
Don't don't take any legal advice from me, any of those people.
But the Norwegian insurance company brought me first class back to Norway to operate on me there because they knew with the little that they did here is $35,000. If they would have done an operation here, it would be a couple of $100,000. So, and there would be free. So they just paid for that first class ticket that I couldn't enjoy because I was in pain.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was probably my first and last time on first class.
Personally, well, you never know. Like, I just end up in places. It sounds like you and me just end up places sometimes. Last night, I ended up at a recording for someone's stand-up special.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how I got there. I'm just on this rooftop, just like,
just end up places.
This is my life. This is it, right? I'm just showing
wing
up.
it.
Yep.
Just wing it.
Normal. Yeah, just wing it is like the key to my life.
Yes.
So
sounds like me.
It is. It works. And I can hear it. Like, you're very passionate about a lot of the things that you do. You like to go out there. But I do know what you mean because you're talking about running barefoot, going after scorpions and all that. I was already immediately like, have you ever had fried scorpion with, like, the garlic and, like, the salt and pepper? And
No, I haven't.
I haven't?
No.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, whatever. I'd be like, that's fine. I thought that's where we were going. But you're like, no, I'm going to take pictures of them. I'm like, oh, that's a different approach.
Yeah, like people were scared of them alive, not cooking them, but like they were scared of them alive. They were running away, and the guides that we had over there, like, don't be careful with the scorpions. They come when the sun go down, the scorpions come up, and I'm like, cool.
I had a similar experience in Africa. I was with these recon guys that we met up. They were coming out of Germany because they had surgery in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
I won't mention what kind of surgery they had, but it was painful. It was very painful, and I had to link up with them on my way to Djibouti.
Yeah.
Right. And I remember we hit the beach, and there was an African guide there who was with us, and he was like, hey, there's fins out in the water.
Yeah.
There's sharks out there. I could see the fins. Of course we didn't stay on the beach. We went after the sharks, right?
Yeah,
We jumped in and swam over there to see who can get there. And I'm not gonna let these recon guys beat me to these sharks. I don't know what was in my head at this point in time. We got there, we caught up to it. It turned out to be a school of whale sharks.
See?
Right? Could have been great white, whatever, but we saw whale sharks. So naturally, I think I can ask you this question. What do you think we did when we found out it was whale sharks?
Look for the bigger fish. I don't know.
No, we went to ride them.
Oh, yeah, of course. Of course.
Yeah, so you just grab that dorsal fin and jump on top, and you know what?
Because they don't eat.
You know what they don't like? You jumping on their back.
Yeah, that too.
We were getting skipped on the water like stones. I think I caught 3. They caught 2. I won that one. And then we swam, and you just look at the guide on the beach just looking at us like, I don't even know why I bothered telling people anything. So, just...
That sounds like fun.
It was fun, but it's one of those things. It's like you only live one time, right? And if you have an opportunity to
do stuff,
just do stuff, do it, right? Like, everyone's so scared of stepping or coloring outside the lines, I guess you would say, right? They just...
The rock is there, kick it. You know, just don't go past it. Like, it's there for a reason.
You know, and I think...
Just get in it.
For me personally, I think it's our school system that kind of sets us up to this because it cuts you into like a cookie cutter of being
true.
Like, you need to really pursue that college degree. That way you can get that safe job, and then you can work 40 hours a week and
to pay off
the school. And then you're like here, and then you have like this. It's like all planned out to what you're supposed to do with your life. But then, people like you and me where we're just like, I don't really want to do this. I want to do what I feel like doing because it's important, right? Like, the best things in the world are made by people who don't color inside those lines, right? And I think when I was growing up, my dad told me this one time, and I think it's a quote from somebody else, but he was like, the A and B students always end up working for the C and D students later on.
Yeah, true.
And it's not because of intelligence, it's about willingness to actually do something instead of just doing what you're told.
And people can judge you after the education you have.
Oh, yeah.
You can be much smarter than them and well-traveled and know much more than them. It's just the society is made up like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's true.
Whenever I go back home to Northern California, a lot of the people that I grew up with are still in the same cycle they were when I was there. And they haven't changed at all. And they're just, oh, I really wish I could have done that. You could. There's nothing stopping you from doing anything that you want to do. It's just, what are you passionate about? What do you want to go after?
Exactly.
And like, as a photographer, like, You're right. Not a lot of people will go, but if you called me and say, "Hey, we're going somewhere," I'm like, I'm down. I don't care where we're going. I have a friend who was like, "Are you willing to go to Iran?" Like, like if I called you up in like a month, are you ready to go to Iran? I was like, I have to do this electroshock therapy for migraines and stuff like that. But after that, I am 100% down. I don't even know why we're going.
Yeah. I'm the same.
You just tell me where it is. He's like, there's not a lot of people that will go to this place, this place, or this place. I'm like, that's funny because those are the only 3 places you can tell me to go, and I'll probably go.
And there are a lot of people that go to Ukraine, and when those air alerts come on, they run like headless chicken around. They don't know where they're just going crazy. But I was there like whatever. Like the first day I was like, okay, let's go to the bomb shelter. And then I was like, the rest 13 days I didn't go down there. Like I didn't care anymore. Because, if it's going to hit, it's going to hit.
Yeah.
And fine, I've lived a long life. I'm almost 50. I'm like 48. I'm going to be done doing the safe thing because of my kids now.
Yeah, right.
They're not young anymore, so I don't need to think too much about that. But they're thinking about me, though. They try to catch me in the fall.
Do your kids actually like try to pursue their own passions, or they do?
They did with martial arts and that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I have, one is national champion in Muay Thai. I was always backing them up with anything they wanted. If they wanted to pursue stuff in school, I was there backing them up. If they wanted to be a UFC fighter, I would back them up. Like I wanted them to do what they wanted to do.
I'm the same way because I don't believe in like telling my kids like you need to do this, this, and this. Like my daughter, she has autism. Yeah. And one of the things with her is she's a cartoonist, and she's very talented. Like to the point where she actually has like her own little like YouTube page. Yeah, you got to back. She's doing it. Like you have to let them know that you're supporting what they do. Totally. And it might not be something that they want to do forever. It's just something they want to do now. But just knowing that they have their parents' support in what they're doing, it's like if it's not hurting anybody, it's not hurting themselves. It's not something that's going to destroy. Yeah, you should have other backup plans in different ways. But like, what is it that wakes you up in the morning, makes you want to get out of bed? Very true. Like I had one son. He was all in BJJ and wanted to go to the UFC at the end. He was 14. He was like all in. And he was training morning, went to school, trained afternoon. Like his whole life was just school and BJJ. And I backed him up 110%. I traveled Dubai, the World Championship. I went to France, the European Championship, all the Naga stuff. Like he has belts hanging on the wall, and he was like a prodigy, and I was in it full. And one day when he started getting interested in girls, that changed because then he was like, "Mom, I don't have time for this anymore." And I'm like, "Oh, you don't have time for this?"
Like I like put all my efforts into you and money and traveling for you to be like, and he was winning everywhere. Like he didn't lose any fight. Yeah. And I was so proud. And when we would walk into one of those competitions, the other kids would say, oh no, this guy showed up. He's gonna win. We have no chance of winning when he's here. He was so famous over there. So just one day he came to me and said, Mom, I'm gonna damage my body. I know it was girls because he was starting to get interested in girls. But then he joined the army. And he became a combat medic, and he was in the King's Army in Norway. And now he finished the army and is studying cybersecurity. So he's on his last year of doing that. So whatever they want to do, I'll support it. But I also support it 100%. So if they like do a U-turn, like they don't want to do this anymore, and I had all my like efforts in you. Then I remember I went with almost like a heartbreak for 6 months after, like, this guy is wasting his talent. He's such a prodigy. He could have become big, I tell you.
Yeah, my son is also a combat medic in the Army.
Oh, cool.
My oldest one, yeah. I dropped him off yesterday. I think I was up for 48 hours because he decided to take like a 6 a.m. flight and I have to get him at the airport at 4.
Yeah.
And like it was Thanksgiving. I'm just like trying to hang out with him for as long as possible. It was like midnight. They were like, I think we should go to sleep. I'm like, I think we should too because I got to get up in like 2 hours.
Yeah,
But
you got to support the kids.
You
Whatever
gotta.
they want to do, you just go for it because even if they change their minds, at least you were there for them.
It's the foundational support of a parent, right? And I think a lot of parents forget that you obviously want what's best for your kids.
Yeah.
We always want our kids to be better than us.
Yeah.
It's not hard for my kids to be better than me. I always tell them that. It's not hard for you to be better than me. You just got to, just lock in and do what you got to do. But I think a lot of parents miss out because they try to live vicariously through their kids. And that's also a hard one because they're like, I want you to be this, this, and this.
Yeah.
And one of the things I think is difficult is making sure that you teach your kids not to quit when you're working really hard to give them the best life possible. Because I know for me, like I've worked really hard to make sure my kids have the best life that they possibly could with the resources that have been available to them, right?
And you probably made sure they didn't have the life you had growing up.
And in some ways, it's great because they never had to
go through that.
I never had to go through the very idiosyncratic things that I went through.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're very sheltered because of it, right? And they don't understand what it means to just hold on when things get really, really rough. And like I know for me, like one of the things that I had is when I was growing up, I had to be a surrogate parent for my sisters. At the age of 13, I had to figure out how to also be a brother and another guy. And that wasn't my dad's intention either. It's just how it kind of worked out. And I was talking to him about it, and it was just I never really had an opportunity just to be a kid. Like I never got to be a kid, and I never got to be a teenager.
I was the oldest too,
I was the oldest as well. And then I just went into being my own. I was a parent of my own by the age of 18, so it was just nonstop responsibility, right?
Yeah.
And as much as I would love my kids to be, because I used to get really mad at my oldest son. You already know, like your first kid, that's where all the mistakes are made, right? Because you're like, I know what I was able to do at your age. Why can't you do it?
True.
And I know you know what I mean because we have a similar background with that. You're like, I know you could do this because I did it way younger than you. But you completely erase the fact that I made him a little bit, not softer.
Yeah.
But I gave him a better life than I had, Well,
I raised my 4 boys all alone.
Yeah.
And I had no family because I went out of that family as early as I could to survive myself.
Yeah.
So when I had my boys and I wasn't lucky with the father, I ended up just raising them on my own without family, without friends. It was just focused on them. But they have had a rough life in a sense too that they only had me, they were raised by a single mom, but I did, like you said, like everything in my power with the means that I had. And I was just so proud of them excelling in sports because I didn't have anybody behind me, pushing me or giving me the support. Because I remember in school, the teachers said, Sandra, you just choose one sport and you'll be a champion. Any of them. Just choose one. And I'm like,
you lose interest in it?
No, I went back to my mom and I'm like, I want to start this. And like, no, we don't have money for that. Like, we don't. So I didn't have that support. So when my kids wanted to start martial arts, which I knew was in the blood already, like it's in the blood, it's generations. And I was like, oh yeah, like the best equipment I gave them, it wouldn't be my fault if they didn't make it, both in support or equipment or anything. I was like all in with them.
Yeah.
And it was up to them after that. Like if they wanted to make it big or not, like I would be there for them anyway. So yeah. Some of them are thinking now to go back to martial arts. They kind of grew out of it, and now they're starting to wanting to go back. And I can guarantee you that the next generation after, they're going to do martial arts too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. My oldest son is already seeing his future kid that he doesn't have yet, training him in in Muay Thai or MMA or he's already, I can see it already. It's going to be, no doubt, many generations.
Yeah. I remember I got into martial arts at 13 because I already had a criminal record.
Yeah.
It was like I had a really cool judge, He was like, all right, you're going to do community service, but he's like, I want you to actually check in. I want you to do something positive with all
Something
this.
with discipline, right?
Something like that. My dad was like, all right, we're going to find something, right?
Yeah.
He put me in Taekwondo, and I think that was my first introduction to it. And I was like, all right. And that's all I did for like a long time. Like that was my outlet. It was, I loved Saturdays because Saturdays was sparring days. So it was just fighting every Saturday all the time. And that was like the best in the world for me.
Yeah.
And
it's such a good way to get out frustration too.
Yeah.
And to get it frustration like in order kind of thing. It's like within discipline instead of going in the street and just looking for it, you know.
I do that now.
Yeah.
So
my son does that too.
It's a problem for me. It's like I know in this past year I've been like falling into like a pretty deep depression, and that's why I really do appreciate my team for really pulling me along, because I've only been doing this podcast for probably like 6-7 months. I think. No, I think it's around that. But it's given me a reason to find people who have purpose and have things that they're going for, and remembering that we all have stories and that we have something that we could pursue. And because I know me, like if I'm left to my own devices, I don't have normal vices like other people.
Yeah.
Sometimes this is horrible. I get jealous of the people who are just like regular alcoholics.
Yeah, right.
Okay? It's like, man, can you just imagine like, oh, this is my thing, or I'm on drugs, or I gamble and all this.
I have a thing. You know what that is?
What is it?
Chocolate.
Chocolate?
Sugar.
Dark? Is it
I
dark?
don't drink. I don't smoke. I never been drinking, never smoked,
Me
never
either.
drugged, never party. Sugar. Give me a chocolate. Like I light up. Like,
I'm glad we kept the chocolate out.
oh yeah, that's my.
What's your favorite chocolate then?
Toblerone is. Like,
Toblerone, those the first time I had that was in Romania. I was like, what is this? Because we had the big ones, right? I'm
really
like,
good.
yeah, that was really good.
But any chocolate, like chocolate is chocolate.
Chocolate is chocolate. What's your
What's that?
percentage of cocoa?
I don't care.
You don't care?
As long as there's a bunch of
I'm like
sugar in
80
there.
and above. 80 and above. That's like I don't like sugar though. I like the bittersweetness of chocolate, where it's like you kind of cough a little bit.
I can actually wake up in the morning, and before I open my eyes, my hands are like, "Where's the chocolate?" Like,
You have chocolate around your bed?
oh yeah,
That's what's up.
at night, like I edit videos and pictures, and I'm like eating snacks like chocolate. I should have been this big, like honestly.
I gotta make this. I make a spicy dark chocolate, hot chocolate, like on stovetop with like actual milk, salt, and all that stuff. It's really good. Like,
Here in Vegas, I got a big vanilla ice cream with a bunch of shaved coconut on top and chocolate sauce. Like that was every day.
They say that's good.
I love that.
It almost sounds like salab. That's an Egyptian drink.
Yes.
Yeah, I heard about salab in a book, and I was like, I can make this. That was a problem with culinary school. I told you I went to that, and it's like all of a sudden I feel like I hear something, I'm like, I can make this.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna figure it out, right?
Yeah.
I guess it's a blessing for everyone else because
That's
they
how I cook. I just throw things in there and taste, and I never learned how to cook, but they tell me I'm a good cook, so
They tell you?
I believe that.
I always know I'm a good cook when I don't get to try my own food because it's gone already.
It's because it's gone, yeah.
Those bastards.
Yeah. But I had 4 sons. Imagine they ate me out of the house.
Yeah, I forgot about that because my son came back for Thanksgiving, right? And then he's just eating, and I'm just like, I forgot about this. Nothing in the fridge. Because
Yes, you fill it up, and then 2 hours later, it's all gone, especially with 4.
But that's always,
boys.
yeah, I know. I got 2 and 2, boys, 2 girls, and it's like boy, girl, girl, boy, right?
Yeah.
So it's like the littlest one. I'm just like, he's gonna be a problem, and like, because in 6 years he'll be 12, and that's when the hunger starts.
Yeah.
That's when you just like have to buy like a trough.
I told my kid, like, I'll literally buy a cow because you drink so much milk. I'll just put a cow outside.
I've debated getting a goat.
Yeah. Same thing. Same
Just
thing.
getting a goat.
Yeah.
I like goat cheese.
And he tells me now, like, I don't know how you did it, Mom. Like, now he's paying his own food. He's 23, and he's like, Mom, I don't know. How did you do it with all the 4 of us? Like, I would drink like a liter of milk, like at every meal that I had, and I had like meals all day. Like, and he's like, how did you pay for all of that? Like, I don't even know.
So don't ask questions.
Yeah, I just made it happen.
I never I look back at it sometimes. I'm just like, my gosh, how did I ever make that happen? Because I don't think stability has always been like the key word when it came to Ronnie Long.
Yeah.
It's like I think I've been able to like stay at a job for like maybe like 5 years, and then I just kind of
Probably not even that.
Not even that. It wasn't until like I was doing something that I wanted to do, because I did the Marine Corps for 4 years. Then I got out and I did armored car. I was moving all the money for casinos and all that.
Yeah.
I think I got about a year before PTSD decided, no, maybe the high stress of being on the strip with millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the best idea, right? And then I went to school. And school was okay, but I hate school.
Yeah.
School. I hate the structure of just being locked into a place and being told, like, this is what you do, which is basically a job as well.
It is.
And
they're prepping you for the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I went into security again because it was in a similar field. And it's just so many people, they get into it. Like people who are veterans, we get into law enforcement and security because it's like an easy transfer. But if we think about it, it's such a waste of talent.
Yeah, I've even been a bouncer. Little me, 5'4".
It's a boring
Norwegian big drunk guys. I would take them in the neck and just...
The neck always works,
Yes,
right? The neck
yes.
right there, right?
Even, there were two guys trying to fight, and I just went there. I was like, I'm tiny beside of those Norwegian big guys. I would take his neck and just sit him down, and it's like, not in my bar, do it outside. And they were like, okay.
You ever do that thing where you wrap up, you got their arm locked up, and then they can't do anything? Because
Yes.
Yeah, it's a fun one. You're just holding on to them. You're like, okay, no, we're going, right? And then if they start acting up, you kick out the leg a little bit.
It is.
This is not legal.
It is. It is definitely a waste of talent.
It is a waste of talent because you're just sitting around waiting for something to happen after all the training and all the stuff that we get there. And then the conditioning, not just physical conditioning, but the mental and emotional conditioning that we have as veterans is substantial. And it's hard to put that in a normal everyday job, right? Yeah. I know some people, they really go hard on the other one. Like I know some guys that have done some pretty terrible things that they regret, and they avoid conflict altogether. No martial arts, no firearms, nothing, like doing cybersecurity or
we have the ones that go off grid basically because they can't handle the they call it in Norway the square life.
The square life?
Square life.
Sounds miserable.
Yeah.
It does sound miserable, and I can't do it. Like I need to find things to do. Like, we did our project for about a month, and it was nonstop go, go, go. And that has probably been the happiest time I've had in like probably a year, simply because I had a purpose, I had a focus, I had things that I was doing, and it was unpredictable. It was something that I could kind of go to the wind with and just have like enjoy what the process is, right? And it was chaotic. A lot of mistakes were made. A lot of things were great. And I mean, may have only got shot at once. Maybe we don't know. It almost happened, but the fact that you couldn't predict it was.
Have you ever like considered like going in the private sector, doing like the PMC stuff or CPO?
I have. When I was younger, I did, and I was going into it when I started going to that counterterrorism school. Yeah. And that was the plan. I was going to go into PMC. Yeah. And I remember the instructors were leaving and there was like only one left. Yeah. And I just got certified as an instructor in counterterrorism. Yeah. And he was about to have like a class of 35 or 40 or something. And I was like,
it's a way of keeping busy.
Mm-hmm. And I told him, I was like, do you need help teaching? And I ended up becoming an instructor for like 4 years until
there's
COVID
the
happened.
CPO and there's so many things you can do.
Mm-hmm. I just fell in love with teaching, and because it gave me a reason for life again. And I think I wonder now, because after that I ended up owning my own company after that, which that was also going to end up being a PMC. We ended up getting our SAM's codes or whatever, the cage codes and all that stuff, because we were planning on going into that, especially since I used a lot of the experience that I had with combat and armored car, money logistics and things like that. And we turned something into a gray operation. What was it? It was a courier operation for crypto cash that was moving things gray throughout the country. But I got, because it was 2020, 2021 time, they just needed people to move stuff. So I ended up getting certified by FinCEN to move whatever I want, wherever I want, right? So like, you can only fly with $10,000. I could fly.
We can start something here in town, like something. That's
what I did.
The desert, the desert is everywhere, and you can,
Yeah. I'm one of the few people that got approved by FinCEN to fly with as much money as I want anywhere in the world, as long as I let them know about it. And like, not a lot of people got that. It's just because they needed people to do it.
Or if you need a partner,
Always.
just let me know.
See, that's what I'm talking about. People who are down to go. And that's like what I like to do. Like, if you gave me an opportunity, I would run with it. It doesn't matter what it is. I think I was sitting there with my son before this.
Yeah.
We're watching, this is going to be like a nerdy movie. It's like Army of the Dead, when they're like trying to fight zombies to go steal cash. I'm like, that's like my dream job right there.
Right.
We're shooting and stealing stuff.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Chances of survival, very low. I'm okay.
Have you ever been to Amman, Jordan?
Yeah.
At Kasatek?
I have.
King Abdullah Special Operation Training Center?
No, I haven't been there. I was just in Yemen,
Have you
or I
heard
was in
about that
Jordan.
place?
I was just in Jordan. I was walking around. They're like, oh, that's the Jordan River. I was like, oh, wait, like biblical Jordan River? They're like, yeah. They're like, that's this Jordan. They're like, yeah. I'm like, I didn't do the math.
Well, you haven't been at that base there?
I did not go to that
It's the
base.
most technological, badass place you can be.
If anyone wants to
I've been
sponsor,
training there. I know them. I have contacts in
great. I am happy to go. Anywhere I can go, I will be happy to go.
Yeah. Do you have any experience from K9? Because I know they
K9?
they need K9 officers over
I
there.
train. I do a nonprofit with RWB, and I'm one of the guys that help veterans, combat veterans, pair up with a rescued animal. So they basically save each other, right?
Yeah,
They become a
basically.
certified dog handler, and the dog finds a home and a purpose, and they kind of save each other. That's the most I ever
Connect
done.
me into that.
Yeah. So besides that, is there anything that we didn't get to ask that you really want to talk about?
Not really. We touch base with most of the
Most
stuff.
things?
Yeah.
Yeah. How long are you planning on staying in Vegas?
I'm leaving Tuesday,
You're leaving Tuesday.
but I'm coming back.
You know-
I am 50% here and 50% in Europe right now. But in the future, I'm looking towards moving here.
Moving here?
But
Is this like where's your hub? Is it Europe or is it here?
both place, I have like one leg in each place, right?
One leg in each place, and you're still kind of like testing the waters of both of them?
Yeah, no, I like the system in Norway, but I like the freedom here. I feel at home here, but I have my boys there. So I'm always going to have one foot on each place, in each place. And I can't just up and leave my boys because I am all they have.
Mm.
But so I'm always going to be connected there, but I'm looking to moving here. I'm thinking about moving here.
I know Vegas for me has always been a good hub, but I don't think I've ever felt home anywhere. I always feel home
I know what
on the road, if that makes sense. If I have the purpose and I have the mission and I have the thing to do, that's where I feel at home. It's never been.
Yeah.
I was never able just to sit down. My wife used to say that she's never seen me content with anything in my life, even like when I was making decent money, but I had a job and I was going to it every day, but like
You're always chasing.
I was so unhappy and so angry all the time, and I couldn't tell that I was angry. I thought it was just PTSD, but it was because I remember viscerally thinking about the fact that, is this it?
Yeah.
This is it, and this is what people like hope for, right? Like there's those guys out there, I love my job.
Yeah, I'm not a house or a picket fence and all that. I'm not. I don't care.
It'd be
about,
cool to have a place like that to sleep at.
Yeah, exactly. Just have like a base kind of thing.
Mhm.
But I'm very much a desert girl. I like the desert.
I like the desert.
the
People hate the desert. The
I love
desert
it.
is so
It's magic.
beautiful.
It's magic.
There's something that's peaceful about it. Like, don't get me wrong, I love mountains.
Yeah,
I can't stand the beach.
No,
it's,
me
it's too dirty. It's too dirty, right? I have that same beach I told you about with the sharks and all that. We slept on the beach, and I remember waking up because a camel woke me up. You ever heard a camel first thing in the morning? There was no chocolate involved. It was just a loud sound, just like looking at me. I'm like, the fuck is that? And they're big.
Yes,
thought they
they're
were
huge. They are huge.
And they had like all the stuff. And that's when I worked
Slow
with
moving.
and that, I think 2 hours after that, we were with the French Foreign Legion. It was pretty cool. Like, this is awesome. These guys are cool.
There's something about the desert when the sun goes down.
It's beautiful.
In the beginning, when the sun is down, there's something in the air I can't explain, but there's something that is just magic. And I feel like I belong in the desert. Any desert in the world but the desert.
Yeah.
And this is the closest I've felt as home.
All right. So I know you work on documentaries, and we talked about it. Like your documentary on your life, I would love to be a part of that project to actually work on. But what documentaries have you worked on right here that you want to talk about?
So in 2021,
Yes.
I did a documentary in Norway about Norwegian veterans that and their deployments basically all over the world.
Mhm.
Afghanistan, Yugoslavia, Lebanon, like
Detroit, Michigan?
no.
Okay, just making sure.
And then like their experience on deployment.
Mhm.
And I wasn't looking for like the boohoo stories, or I was looking for just them talking from the liver, basically. Just I didn't even ask questions, just tell your story. And I had like one canine handler, one nurse, one field priest.
Field priest.
I was trying to get like everybody in one. So I did that basically pro bono. I did that because I wanted the stories to get out there.
I understand that.
And then later that year, what happened in Afghanistan, 2021.
Yeah.
And the Taliban going after the interpreters that had helped the foreign foreign military forces. So I have a friend that did interpret for the Norwegian, Swedish, and U.S. Army over there. And I just wanted his story. And he was talking about how he became an interpreter, his work there. And then after everything happened, like they were going after them because they were seen as traitors because they were helping.
I know.
Right. So I wanted his story, and we sat down and we just talked, and I made a documentary about that. So
I would love to watch that. My terp, you can watch me get blown up by an IED on YouTube, and it was my terp that stepped on the IED, and he was really smart. Like, he knew so many languages, and he was one of the funniest kids that you can meet, right? There was this time, and we went to this place, and there was possibly an IED inside there, and we were talking to them. We were talking to the owner of the place, and my lieutenant asked him, he was like, hey, so looks at Abdul. Abdul's my interpreter.
mm-hmm.
He's like, I need you to tell him that if there's an IED in this alleyway, that we're going to have a problem.
Yeah.
Abdul translates that, and the guy starts freaking out, like having that whole, like, what kind of freak out, right? And then, like, they go away, and then I asked Abdul, I was like, Abdul, did you say that word for word? He's like, no. What did you say to him? He's like, I told him that if there's an IED there, I'm going to unplug it and shove it up his ass. Like,
that's how you translate. That's the correct.
That's the correct way to translate, right?
Yes,
you have to let the seriousness come out, right?
Yes.
He was a funny kid, and
that's cool.
When he got blown up, I remember that hit the other interpreters pretty hard because he was the youngest. I think he was only like 16, 17 years old. His goal was to move to America, go to school, and do all that. And this was the money that was going to help him do that. And, I always thought about them. And then we had a reunion, and it wasn't the reunion that was really big because we didn't really have a lot of the guys there. But this past couple months, we had a funeral.
Yeah.
For one of my guys. He committed suicide, and one of the interpreters showed up, and he showed up, and it was just crazy to see him because it's been like 15 years. Yeah. He looks completely different. He has his wife and kids. He's really happy, and like we were talking to him, like a lot of the interpreters after that deployment moved to America. They're all truck drivers right now, just yelling at each other in Pashto on their
yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so they took my radio skills very seriously, and now they're just yelling at each other on CB radio.
Yeah.
Wonderful. But it was so good to hear, like, all of them are good. They're here. They're doing it. And it's like they got out of that shitty situation.
Yeah.
Especially before it got serious, because 15 years ago coming back would have been way better than being in this weird not peace thing. And then all of a sudden
their families.
They did. And so
door by door, like
I remember, I can't say that on this, but there was one family that helped a whole platoon out, and when we went back to go see him a second time, they weren't there anymore. Well, they were there, but they weren't there.
Yeah.
And when you think about it and think about the brutality of what happens because of just simple cooperation, you realize how much these people risk and how much they're willing to go for it. And
True.
It needs to be respected. It needs to be honored because it's just like us who wear the uniform. They're putting their life at risk because that's their home.
Yeah.
That's their home that they're willing to do something. I don't know if you read the Bible, but biblically Rahab did the same thing when the spies came in to betray her home in order to help the different people.
It's like those interpreters fall between two chairs.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like
they're not honored in the way because, they just fall in between two chairs, and it's sad to see. And in Norway it's the same. Like this interpreter, he goes to, veterans stuff, and he's not seen as a veteran, even though he lived in the same tent as them. He ate the same food with them, at the same table with them, but he's not treated the same way.
Which is wrong.
Yeah.
Even Abdul, he wasn't given a weapon, but he had some throwing knives. And we did the K-bar throw. I don't know if you hung out with U.S. Marines. We'll throw K-bars at each other into the flak jacket. He had his own throwing knife, so we were doing that.
Mm-hmm.
That is totally not something I should say on camera. That's okay, though. But how can people find the documentaries?
On YouTube.
On YouTube. They are on YouTube. Okay.
And I was actually planning to do one here in the U.S. for veterans, and get their stories on deployment. And I didn't tell you guys before, but I was married here before, and he passed. And he passed in the middle of me planning this documentary. And then when he passed, I took my bags and went back to Norway.
I'm sorry for your loss.
So yeah, it was sad because it came out of the blue. He just collapsed, and I was the one who had to run and do CPR on him, go with him to the hospital. And this happened like 2.5 years ago. And I kept coming back here to kind of feel our love, our memories and all that stuff here, because he came from California and I came from Norway. And we decided on Henderson together and got a home there and built our life there, and he passed. And I had that I had already made the poster for that documentary, but I never got to do it. So these connections are good to have to maybe finish off that project too.
That's you have our number, and this is literally what our life is. That's what it's all about, because we have the veteran stories. That's what the whole chevrons and the microphone's for. It's stories over stigma, because we want people to actually talk about their stuff. So we'll definitely work on that.
Awesome.
Other than that, how can people find you?
They find me on Instagram. Sharklife 777.
I thought it was going to be a surfer page when I saw that.
You know why I call it Sharklife?
Why?
Because my name in French is Vidrequin, which means, if you translate that to English, it means life of shark. So Sharklife.
That's so fitting, because sharks can't sleep.
Yes, right? And I don't either, so yeah.
There we go.
No, but yeah, so I just translated it to Sharklife, and 777, that's my favorite number, so it just became that.
And you don't gamble either, which makes it fun.
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't.
But it's an angel number. I know a lot of people who are obsessed with that one too.
Yeah, and 1111 too. Like, I got married on 11/11 on Veterans Day in 2022, and he passed 7 months after we got married. And everywhere I looked, I was losing, because first of all, I lost him. And then I went from the hospital back to our home. Empty home. I didn't know anybody. We had just moved there 1.5 years earlier. We didn't know. We were just doing all this great stuff together. And I went up to our bedroom after coming from the hospital, just distraught, sat down, and I actually loaded my gun and put it to my head. And that's the first time I put a gun to my head, because I was I lost it when I lost him.
I know.
And then I thought about my sons. I put it under my pillow, and I stayed in that house for 3 weeks, and then I left. But just a moment after I packed that weapon under the pillow, his estranged family calls me, talking about the house is in his name and stuff. I had just 5 minutes before gotten back from the hospital. It wasn't even on my mind, that stuff, like material stuff. So I just signed papers, took my bags. I went there, and I'm like, you guys deal with everything. I was in the airplane, and they were in there looting the house, selling TVs, dirt bikes, everything they could find. Like, they were just selling it and it was just crazy. So
Californians.
yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir.
Feeling.
Uh-huh.
I know. I'm from California. I know.
And they hadn't even stepped a foot in our home and that was a home that him and I bought together, furnished together, painted together. Like it was
a home. It wasn't a house.
It was a home, and you could see the love in that home in every square inch of that home. And they hadn't even been there. So I'm just okay, I'm putting the key there. I haven't even landed in Norway when like TV was gone, everything. The neighbors were telling me, "Where's your Jeep?" I'm like, "I don't know." They just took everything. It's just stuff though, but it was stuff that represented our love because we did all of that together. So anyways, that's life, and
yeah, I know.
It's been 2.5 years of dealing with that stuff.
Still, it was wrong that it doesn't even happen, but I do appreciate you sharing that you share your time here, that you brought the camera. All this stuff is...
Don't go anywhere without it.
Right.
Yeah.
I know. Apparently we're not interesting enough to take a picture of. I'm joking. But
I can take a picture.
It's all good. But thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed doing this because this was a lot of fun.
I was glad to meet you guys. You're doing an amazing job.
Definitely making that guy's hair a lot more gray than it should be.
Yeah. Like mine.
Yeah.
Same.
Well, thank you. All right. That's what we have.